You're ready to discover 40 more new look patterns that are elastic only. Because what did I tell you? No zippers, no buttons, no snaps, just elastic. So I'm going to be sharing with you those other 40 that I talked about in my last video when I shared the first 40 with you. So if that's some content you would like to see, please continue to watch.
I got it like that. Yeah, I got it like that. I got it like that. Baby, I'm a big deal, I got it like that. I did it again, who told you that I was finished? Fresh off the plane.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you guys those 40 additional patterns that are new look patterns that are elastic only. But if you are new to the channel, welcome. Hello, Ciao, Guten, Aloha, Hola, Konnichiwa, Gwaan, Sabonani, Shalom, Bonjour, If you're returning, you guys know what to do. Quick snack, something to drink, grab your notebook. Go ahead and do that. And make sure you have something to drink as well. So without further ado, to keep this short, sweet, give you all the deets and the news that you can use on this video, let's go ahead and get right on into it. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing with you guys quick and easy 40 additional new look patterns for the hot girl summer. And because it's getting ready to commence at the end of the month, before I do my roundup video, I figured I need to share these last 40 that I told you I was going to be sharing with you guys. So when I did the first video, I was a little under the weather with this really bad cough. And I was like, I had no energy to tell you guys all of it in one video, which was my main goal, to show you all 80 in one video. But I cut it at 40 and I was like, I'll do a second video because you couldn't see it. But if you remember when I was sick back in November of last year, I pushed through. I was coughing up a storm. I had so many clips from coughing and all of that stuff. So I didn't want that same situation going on. So I am now 100% feeling better. From that video to this video. And what I'll be sharing with you now is the 40 patterns that are elastic only. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into the first pattern. So the first pattern is, all of these are new looks, so I'm just going to tell you the number. It's 6525. Now, Brittany J. Jones did a video, a sew-along video to this, which is kind of like a drop, I guess they call it like a drop waist dress. So it looks like a t-shirt with some ruffle at the bottom, and I felt like this was super cute. It's elastic only. Elastic only. So you will need elastic only for this dress. So once again, it's 6525. Moving over to the next pattern is 6529. And with 6929, it is a tunic. Now, let's start off right here. I don't know how many top patterns, okay? The last video I showed you, it was a lot of tops. So this one, I'm going to say it's probably a lot of dresses and tops as well. But we will see. All right. So this is 6529. This is like your pullover tunic pattern. Now, with this one, like I mentioned, I said elastic only, but this video is going to be like the other one. You either need elastic, bias tape, or seam binding. So for this one, I'm going to say you're going to need some seam binding for this pattern. Once again, it's 6529. Let's move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 6533, and this is yet another tunic style top. And I love what the model is wearing on this pattern. So this would be a good one to do. Once again, it's 6533. Moving over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 6543, a basic freaking top. Now, I want to mention one thing that one of my girlies from the Hot Girl Summer Challenge said. My girl Shelly. So listen, when Shelly said on her video, and I'm going to put it up right here and in the description box below. Actually, I'm just going to put it in the description box below and on the end screen.
So the rules for the challenge, we could use new look patterns, 1, 2, or multiples to create our look. So we could use one new look pattern to create 2 pieces, or multiple new look patterns to do the same thing. And so I ended up using 3 patterns. And I'm just going to be honest with y'all, when she first announced the challenge, I was like, oh, okay, sounds fun. And then I thought about it, and it's like, so we're going to use new look patterns to do this? Because new look patterns are not giving hot girl. like at all. Am I wrong? Like new look patterns are given office. New look patterns are given office era. New look patterns are giving hack me, please. Y'all know what? That's just it. New look patterns are patterns you use to create a new look. Pun intended, because if I'm lying, I'm flying. Y'all know I'm right. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, because new look patterns, I don't think they're giving hot girl. And I could be wrong, but y'all, that is my opinion. But anyway,
when Shelly said new looks patterns are more like office style patterns, right? Listen, new look, hence the name, new look pattern to create a new outfit, okay? This is basically, new look patterns are more like those patterns that you want to hack. There's not many new look patterns that I will show out of the package without a freaking hack. And the reason why is because new look, like the name, you know, new look equals new hack, okay? So this pattern, 6543, I believe it's So Lovely with Grace, and I know someone else did this pattern as well, but I know So Lovely with Grace did this pattern. It is a super basic top. Like, if I were you, because there's not many pattern pieces and many notions, I would definitely say put this on your list, hack the hell out of this pattern during the pattern hackathon that's going on right now, and just so every last one on the pattern, add some sleeves, color block it. What else can you do? Change the V-neck to a round neck. You could do many things with this pattern, but new look patterns equals hack the hell out of me patterns, okay? Let's go ahead and get into the next pattern. So the next pattern is 6546. I mentioned this before because I believe this pattern is a no notion for the most part, except for the pants, and the pants is elastic only. I actually mentioned this when I talked about So Much Talent, Alethea from So Much Talent, when she did the, I think it was the 5-piece set back in March, which I didn't get to participate because your girl had so much stuff going on in March. And I went to, well, I had a frock tail coming up that weekend. I needed to sew for the frock tail. I had spring break with the kids in Augusta, Georgia. It was so much going on, but it was to create a 5-piece set. And this one, I've mentioned that you could get at least three minimum pieces from this pattern. And then you could add sleeves to the top. You could make the pants some shorts. So I've mentioned this pattern before. Once again, it's 6546, a good pattern. Get into that pattern. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. So the next pattern is 6547, which is of course your athleisure style pattern. So this one, I believe, if I remember correctly, you don't need anything other than some seam binding for the armholes for your top. But other than that, you don't need anything for this pattern. Once again, it's 6547. If you are into loungewear, athleisure wear, this pattern can definitely be for you. All right. Once again, it's 6547. Moving over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 6550. And this one is like an off the shoulder style dress or tunic. And this one is super cute. Now, what I'm going to say is for this pattern, I will definitely say build a shelf bra. I have a video coming up pretty soon where I'm going to show you how I do a shelf bra inside some of my garments that are basically no bras. Okay, if I'm not wearing a bra, you could bet your tail that I got a shelf bra in my garment. All right, but once again, this is 6550. It is a nice, lovely off the shoulder dress or tunic, and you're going to need elastic at the waist. All right, once again, it's 6550. Moving over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 6554. And my girl Shelly did this pattern. She did it like in a few hours. If I remember correctly, she did it in this gorgeous green because she's in her green era right now. Don't let Shelly tell you nothing else. But it actually came out really, really cute in the green that Shelly did for this pattern. I know there's a few other sewists that did this pattern. I hear that it's easy to sew. Your girl's not into, I'm not a big jumpsuit fan, even though I like this jumpsuit for sure. So once again, it's $65.50, $54. You could do the jumpsuit or you could do kind of like a wrap dress. I might do the wrap dress. I don't know about the jumpsuit, just to be 100% honest. But once again, it's $65.54. Moving over to the next pattern is $65.55. Now this is the tunic. I have seen this tunic so many times. I just haven't sewn it together yet, but I need to change that when I decide to do new look patterns again, because listen, once again, my girls from the Hot Girl Summer, they let me know the business, okay? And I do appreciate my girls coming through for the Hot Girl Summer, but also giving me their honest opinion about this challenge. So I want to hear it that, you know, like, I heard it so many times, like, girl, I don't know what you was thinking of with choosing new look patterns, but listen, I had to give y'all a challenge. And we all know we love simplicity and McCall's and Vogue patterns. It wouldn't have really been a challenge if I made it super easy by choosing the ones that we like, simplicity, McCall's, and Vogue. So because, and how this challenge came about, the Hot Girl Summer for new look patterns was most of us went to Hobby Lobby and grabbed those new look patterns for 99 cents. So I was like, let's capitalize, because maybe it's something that you thought about getting, but you did not because you did not see the right person sew it up. So I'm hoping that with the new look, Hot Girl Summer for new look patterns, a lot of the ladies were able to inspire you to take your butt on over to Joann's doing the next sale, which is coming up. Simplicity and new look patterns are coming up this week on Thursday. Well, when you're seeing it, it is Thursday, okay? It's coming up, and you could get, I think the patterns are $2.99 still. I haven't seen the ad yet, but I'm pretty sure it's Simplicity patterns on sale starting on the 28th. I'm sorry, the 27th. When I'm filming this, today is Tuesday. So today is Tuesday the 25th. When you are seeing this, it's going to be probably Thursday the 27th or Friday the 28th. I'm just putting it out there, but it starts on the 27th and goes all the way until I believe the 7th of July. I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen so you're able to see that as well for the Joann sale for Simplicity pattern. Also, make sure you check out the new look, and definitely check out this pattern 6555 if you're in your local Joann's, or you can check it out on simplicity.com. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern, you guys know I did a complete sew along for this pattern, and I almost forgot that I have a sew along on the channel for it. It's 6560, which is the wrap top. When I say I love this top, and I gave it to my sister only because I lost weight and it was super big by that time. And it was super big in the bust. Now, don't tell me how in the world that happened, because I don't feel like I lost any bust tissue. I think I gained bust tissue during the pandemic, but it doesn't even matter. But I gave it away, and I still have this pattern in my stash, so I may bring it out of the archive and sew it up. But once again, it's 6560. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 6572, which is just your basic dress. And for this one, you're going to need some seam binding or bias tape, okay? And it's pretty much for the armholes of the dress, because majority of the armholes are sleeveless. So you're going to need some bias tape / seam binding in order to finish off those, but you could also add some sleeves if you choose to the dress. All right, that would be a slight style modification, which you could do for the pattern hackathon. Just letting you know, FYI. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 6575. Now listen to this, y'all. I want to do #SewCaftan2024. It ends on the 28th, okay, which is Friday. Your girl have not been able to cut the pattern or sew it up. I don't even know if I'm gonna make it into getting it done this week, because I've been filming sew-alongs and everything over the weekend, editing videos and stuff like that. So with that being said, I might not be able to participate in the Sew Kaftan 2024 challenge. However, your girl don't really wear kaftan. I was just gonna enter into it to do a challenge that's not my own or the pattern hackathon, because I'm trying to, you know, support other challenges as well. So we'll see, okay? And if I'm able to get it done, I will share that on the channel. All right. But once again, it's $65.75, a good kaftan style pattern. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is $65.81. Mimi G has a complete full sew along for this two-piece set, the wrap style top and the pants. Also, Martika from Martika J Makes also did this pattern. And she literally swears by this pattern that it is good, okay? It's it's like Pillsbury Doughboy, good, okay? So I definitely would say, if you think I'm storying, if I'm lying, I'm flying, and I ain't flying today. So with that being said, hit up Martika from Martika J Make. You could go over to her video, hear all the details about this pattern, $65.81. But of course, our girl Mimi G, she did a complete sew along for this pattern. So it's stamped approved by 2 ladies in the sewing community that this is a good pattern. All right. Once again, it's $65.81. Let's go ahead and move over to the next one. So the next pattern is $66.05. Now, this is an elastic only pattern, but if you looked at my video, 24T style patterns or new look patterns, this one's not in it, but I'm looking at it and it's an easy to sew pattern. But I just feel like with new look patterns, majority of the skirt patterns are something to think about. Okay. Yes, something to think about. Okay. I'm not a fan of the skirts for new look patterns, but to each its own, right? But once again, it's $66.05. You're only going to need elastic in and out the door because this is an easy to sew dress. All right. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is $66.09. Now, this has been slotted on my new look list to sew for many of years since it came out. I still haven't gotten around to sewing this pattern, but if you remember my video when I talked about the sewing plans to do with yellow, you remember that yellow fabric that I have that has like the yellow with the green leafy flowers or whatever. I'm going to put it up so you're able to see that. I think that I know I don't have enough, so that's why I'm not going to do it. But I think I could use this pattern, the top and the skirt, to do that only if I had enough fabric, because I only have 4 yards of that fabric. I think it would be good to do this pattern, even though I'm not. Okay, I'm not doing that. But I think this pattern would be a really good sew for that fabric, or any type of rayon challis. That's exactly what that fabric is for this pattern. All right. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. And you're going to need some elastic for that one. So moving over to the next pattern is $66.18. And this is an easy sew knit dress. I think this is one where you would just throw it on your head and in and out the door, good to go. However, you're going to need some seam binding for the armholes. Just like what the model is wearing, I think that's view A, you're going to need some seam binding for that. Okay, cute pattern for sure. But once again, it's $66.18. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is $66.21. So I like this top. It is a basic work style top. Yes, I'm saying work / office style top. And honestly, I am looking into doing more tops for work. Y'all know I work in corporate America. I work outside of the house. I always need tops. Now, to be honest with you, I have tons of the corporate polo style shirts and t-shirts and stuff. And some days we have to wear those. However, I prefer to wear my own outfits. Okay. Who don't? Sorry. Not sorry. But anyway, this pattern would be one that I would consider sewing up. Something quick and easy. It looks like the only thing I'm going to need is some seam binding around the neck area. So I could definitely see myself pulling this one out to sew up for work. But But once again, it's 66.21. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 66.22, which is another basic style top. Now this one, I actually like what the model is wearing. That's pretty much why I picked it up. Now this one, you're just gonna need some seam binding for. You don't need elastic for, some bias tape, just for the armholes. You could also add sleeves. That would be a pattern hack, okay? But once again, it's 66.22, easy to sew pattern. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern, which is 66.23. And for 66.23, my girl Shelly from Shelly Shell, she did this as part of Hot Girl Summer for New Look Patterns. She did this in like this pinkish, I want to say, I believe the fabric that she used was a satin fabric, and it was printed. So one thing I will say that this is a easy to sew pattern, okay? You only need elastic, okay? You only need elastic. But once again, it's 66.23. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is a two-piece, and that pattern is 66.24. You have like a crossover style peplum top and the skirt. Now, the reason why I picked this pattern up is because I felt like this is a easy to sew new look style pattern. This would be great for work if you work in an office. For me, I would definitely do the ones with the short sleeve, but I think what I would probably do is extend the sleeve and make it long sleeve. And the only reason why I like short sleeves because of where I live. However, I love long sleeves in the fall. Don't ask me why, because you can layer and all that good stuff. I get it. But I am more of a girl who likes sleeve, like almost like mid bicep or to the elbow. Long sleeves to like the wrist, not so much, but I'm game for it anyway. But once again, it's 66.24. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 66.38. Of course, you guessed it, a top. And this is a knit style top. It's easy to sew. I like the little bell sleeves and all that good stuff for this pattern. Like I mentioned, you're only gonna need some bias tape probably at the neck edge, but that's it. I mean, like, who don't want, you know, to create their own bias tape from the fabrics that you already have? All right, create your own bias tape. I know it's only 99 cents at Hobby Lobby to buy some bias tape, but use what you have instead of collecting all these scraps, okay? But once again, it's 66.38. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 66.46, a two-piece set, a top, and a skirt. Easy to sew. Listen, come a little closer. Get this pattern if you're a beginner, okay? Like literally, okay, so all jokes aside, but this pattern is a super duper beginner friendly pattern. There's no notions. The only notion that you probably would need would be some single fold bias tape, and that's to put at the neck area, and you might need some clear elastic so the shoulder seams will not stretch. Outside of that, some elastic for the waist, and you're good to go. That's it. Once again, it's 66.46. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is all 6666, okay? I don't like that number, so we ain't gonna talk much about this number. 6666. Or 6666. And this is pretty much like your slip dress with some action in the back. All right. Business in the front, action in the back. And I like this one. I picked this one up when I first moved to Orlando, Florida, because I know this is a 2020 pattern. That's why you see the white covers all of a sudden, okay, when 2020 hit. And I love this pattern. I haven't gotten around to sewing it, but this may be one that will be featured on my to sew list. Not for new look patterns for Hot Girl Summer, but just probably like next summer or something like that. This may be one that you may see on the list, okay? But once again, it's new look 6666. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 6668. Now I have done a complete sew along in this like purplish top and a skirt. I did a complete sew along for this two-piece set. Now, both of them get a lot of wear. I didn't think that I was gonna like the skirt, but I do. All right. One thing that I will mention about the skirt is it has like this hem facing, and I think that with that video, that was the first time I did a hem facing on a skirt. But I like it though. I'm not even mad. And for the top, I like the fact that the top has like inverted pleats. Go to the video if you're interested in seeing how it came out. Go to the video, complete sew along. But once again, it's 66.68. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 66.69. Like, listen, you guys. This pattern was slotted for me to do for Hot Girl Summer, but I decided against it. And the reason why is because I feel like I didn't have the right knit fabric that's lightweight in order to do this dress. Now that I do have the fabric, and Hot Girl Summer for New Look pattern is getting ready to come to an end, I'm so sad because I actually been loving this challenge, loving to see what the ladies do and hack the mess out of these New Look patterns, even though I am not going to lie, I was super nervous reaching out to all the ladies like, hey, you know, we all picked up, most of us picked up New Look patterns. We should capitalize on this challenge for the month of June. I think I reached out to everyone like end of April, beginning of May. So everyone can have a chance to choose their pattern that they want. Let them pick the date that they want to be featured on. And to be honest, I was super nervous doing this challenge, but the amount of response and the sewing community coming together like, yes, girl, I'll do it. Even though there was some hesitation from a lot of my girlies. They were like, I don't know, Rochelle, but I'm going to say yes for you. So I do appreciate all the ladies saying yes for me because, you know, I got you, right? But anyway, I definitely appreciate each and every one of the ladies who stuck in there with me for this New Look challenge and for actually stepping up and saying, yeah, even though New Look is not everyone's favorite pattern to do, all right? But once again, this pattern is 66.69. It is a nice, lovely tie shoulder dress that I like as well. It may be coming up on the channel sometime in the near future. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 66.77. You need some elastic for those pants. I do like the little tie in the front or whatnot. And like I mentioned, this is an easy to sew pattern. Minimum pattern pieces, okay? But once again, get into this pattern. It's been on my list since I picked it up. But once again, it's 66.77. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 67.08. And this pattern is an easy, basic top, okay? Now, I know there was someone who asked me for a sew along probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. I just never got around to doing the sew along or whatnot, but Martika from Martika J Make, she has a complete sew along and a pattern review for this top. So make sure you go over there, check it out. She did a collaboration with Talisha from Creativity by T. They did a collaboration for this. So go check both of the ladies out for this top. Once again, it's 67.08. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is a pair of pants, okay? And it's 67.09. Now listen, these pair of pants, you just need some elastic, okay? To keep these pants up on your waist, on your booty, really? All right, but it's 67.09. I like the tie on it. You're going to need some elastic. These are easy pajama pants, okay? I'm gonna say it one more time. Pajama pants, okay? So yes, it is super easy loungewear style pants, okay? But once again, it's 67.09. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 67.17. And this is a dress. Now, you would think like, Rochelle, you're gonna need a zipper for this one. But according to the back of the pattern, you're going to need just some single fold bias tape. Now, let me put it like this. I have not really dug into this pattern to see if you're gonna need a zipper, but I think the back is like sewn together at the center back seam. And the only thing you're going to need for this dress is some single fold bias tape for the armholes. Look at the line art, because if looking at the line art, you really do not need a zipper, which would be, you know, it would be fantastic. And the reason why I'm saying it's fantastic, because when I first looked at this pattern, when I picked it up, of course, you know, I have all the patterns that I'm showing you. I thought it was going to be a zipper. So I haven't gotten around to it. But if it's a seam binding only, we may make that happen pretty soon. All right. But once again, it's 67.17. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is a Mrs. top. And this pattern is 67.32. Now, let me say this. I like this top. When will I sew it? I don't know. But I like this top. And I think I want to do it in a print. Some form of a print. I'm not saying I'm going to do it in an Ankara print, but I may do it in a challis, a rayon challis. That's in my stash, of course. But once again, this pattern is 67.32. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is the next knit top. Sorry, y'all. It seems like this is top heavy, but no shade. But this seems like a video that's going to be another video where we're top heavy, okay? But once again, it's 67.33. This is a knit top. It cross over. It's easy to sew. Get into that pattern. Once again, it's 67.33. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Whew. All right, sorry about that, y'all, but next pattern, 67.36. Now, my girl Eris from Sewing _ and more, she did this for Hot Girl Summer, 67.36 for her pattern. She did it in red, and it's so gorgeous. Also, Raven from Raven Marine, she did a whole sew along for this pattern. Once again, it's 67.36. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Next pattern is 67.37. Listen, I don't have to say nothing. Did y'all not see Shamir? I'm going to put her handle in the description box below. Her screen name here on YouTube is Shem So Creative. And she smashed this pattern. Like, she smashed the hell out of this pattern. All right. 67.37. She did in like this pink linen fabric for Hot Girl Summer. If you missed it, you need to go take your butt on over to Instagram so you can see it. All right. Also, my girl Sherelle from Rel Sews, she also did this pattern in this nice, yummy rust color. I want to say, I think she used some gauze. That's what it looks like from the photos. But she also tackled this pattern for Hot Girl Summer. So I'm going to say this pattern is one of the patterns you want to freaking get if you're looking at new look patterns. All right. But once again, this is 67.37. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is what I'm going to call a grandmama pattern, but you can hack it so it's not so grandmama-ish. All right. Listen, when I say grandmama patterns, it's patterns that I picked up that look like grandmamas, but I know I'm going to hack the heck out of it. So it ain't grandmama-ish. Okay. But once again, it's 67.51. This is a Mrs. Dress. I actually like I don't know, but listen, I'm only 40, will be 41 in September. And some of these patterns that when you first look at them, you like, this is a grandmama pattern. Why the heck did I pick it up? And I'm going to tell you why. To hack, okay? A lot of these patterns are just used as guidelines and base patterns and all that good stuff. But you have to look at the line art and think of the different things that you could do with these patterns, okay? So I'm going to be honest with you. When I sew this pattern, it's probably going to be a hack. I know. But this is 67.51. Now, I think the dress is cute and it has potential to be sewn as is, no warranty, okay? However, I could see doing a top, just the way it is, straight out of the package. Now the dress for me is not giving cute girl at all. So I think for me, I would definitely hack, but you know, your girl is not a knit girl. So I am straight team woven, team woven, team woven. All right. So, this dress I mean, the pattern may eventually get sewn up, but it's not in my must sew list. All right, if you know what I mean. Once again, it's $67.51. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is $67.56, which are a pair of pants. Now, for this one, I like the white leg pants, but one thing I want to mention is when you're looking at the pattern, you're probably thinking it's elastic front and a zipper in the back. Absolutely not. It's flat front, elastic back. Okay? Let me say that one more time. Flat front, elastic back. Okay? And with this pattern, you could do so many things. You gain weight, guess what? That elastic go pop back, baby. You lose weight, guess what? That elastic go pop back, baby. So you want a flat front, elastic back, no matter what. You just need elastic only for this pattern. But once again, if you overlook this pattern, go ahead and pick it up because it's elastic only. Once again, it's elastic only, okay? What you waiting on? It's elastic only. But once again, it's new look $67.56. Let's go ahead and get over to the next pattern. So the next pattern, when I say everyone have sewn this pattern, majority of the sewing community have sewn this pattern. It is new look $67.58, which is also McCall 7757. Here's the deal. I have sewn this pattern when it was McCall 7757 twice, okay? One of them I have never photographed in it, but I'll share the one that I photographed, which was this gray black fabric or whatnot, which I love, and it's amazing. And guess what? I still have those pants. Now the top I since then gave to my sister, but those pants is to die for. I love the white legs. I love that it has 3 rows casing of elastic, even though you don't need all that elastic. I'm just saying 2 rows will get you what you need for that waist, okay? Also, Terrence from Terrence Williams, he did this on live. So there is a live for that. Also, LaShawn from Let's Get Social, she did a live for this as well. When I say the sewing community have sewn this pattern, what the hell are you waiting on? Sew this pattern, okay? So you can have some nice white leg pants and an off-the-shoulder top. But once again, this is new look $67.58, which if you have the old pattern McCall 7757, it's the same pattern. Let's go ahead and get into the next pattern. Next pattern, $67.66. Now, if I remember correctly, I don't remember at the recording of this video, but this is also a Vogue pattern, I believe, okay? So I'm gonna definitely put it up on the screen so you're able to see what pattern. This is a dupe copy or whatever you wanna call it, you know, of the same pattern. But once again, this is $67.66. I like the dress. You're going to need some seam binding and that's it, all right? Once again, it's $67.66. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern, new look, of course it's new look, $67.70. Now, hear me out. This pattern is on my dry erase board for me to do for Hot Girl Summer. But you know your girl's been behind the scenes sewing up a storm. It's actually in my bucket to batch cut. I haven't batch cut it yet because I wanted to batch cut roughly 8 to 10 items and I've already batch cut 10. So I want to go through those first. I'm going to definitely be putting this pattern back because it won't be sewn up for Hot Girl Summer. I may sew it a little later in the year into the fall because it has a nice cardigan and pants to go with it. So I might slide this over towards the fall time frame and still use the fabric I was going to use because it is more on the darker tone instead of like a summer bright color. This is more like a cool color instead of a warm color, which I will talk about warm and cool colors coming up on the channel. All right. But once again, it's $67.70. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is $67.71, another athleisure slash loungewear set. If you're into a loungewear set and athleisure, because I'm coming to you guys today with a sports bra. This is the old head sport bra. And it's only because at the recording of this video, I just got out the shower, okay? Not like you needed to know all of that, but anyway, this pattern right here is $67.71. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern I love, and I want to give a shout out to Yvonne from Jamaica. Listen, some people can inspire you to get a pattern that you looked at and you're like, not at all. So let me say this about this pattern. 6889 is the pattern number. So Miss Yvonne, she sent me a list of patterns that she wanted me to pick up for her. I picked it up for her, shipped it to her in Jamaica. And then when I got the pattern, I was just like, it's only one. I could get it again, unlike Miss Yvonne, because she stays in Jamaica. She doesn't have the same source of getting patterns like I do. So I went ahead and sent it to her and waited on the next pattern to come through at a different Joann's. When I was looking for this pattern for her, I wasn't feeling it. It wasn't until I ordered this pattern from simplicity.com and it came in and I was like, oh, next sale. That's New Look is on sale. I'm going to slide this pattern to me. And that's what I did. When the patterns for New Look was like $1.60, I think it was like $1.60. I think it was like a 40 or 60% off sale. It was a little while ago. But when New Look patterns were on sale, I snugged it for $1.60, which was cheaper than Joann's, okay? But once again, this pattern is 6889, all right? So those are all the 40 patterns that are how you can discover 40 more no buttons, no zippers, no snap, just elastic or bias tape or seam binding type patterns. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. And if this video was educational, inspiring, and fun, please do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe button. Also, smash that notification bell so you are notified every time your girl uploads a new video. So I'll catch you in the next video. And as always, keep sewing.
With a new mani-pedi, my hair stay laid and you know I get paid. $100 bills, I got racks on the way. I'm making them big moves, I won't stay quiet. 5'6", but I feel like a giant. I got the source, I am the supplier.